Hi, it's Marina the Soul Alchemist. It's time for Pick Your Own Card weekly guidance for the 24th through to the 30th of June. So I am using the Akashic Oracle card deck, which is a modality in a box. It comes with a key and a masterclass, and you can turn the key into a pendulum to activate Akashic healing. So if you've not had a chance to tune in, you can tune in to cards 1, 2, or 3. And if you want to pop your card pick in the comments below, I would love to hear what your card was. I would encourage you to listen to all 3 cards because they're all going to support each other and give you a really complete message. The bonus card this week is all about karmic challenges. And that particular card gives you an indication of where the karmic challenges are. And you're probably going to kind of feel where those karmic challenges are anyway, or can have a sense or a knowing of where those karmic challenges are. However, the cards this week are kind of maybe indicating some of the behaviors and what we're doing that are not addressing the karmic challenges. So we've kind of really got this complete picture, which is amazing. But before we dive into that, I just want to celebrate today, because if you're listening to this on the 23rd, on the Sunday, this is my 7-year anniversary of connecting with the Akashic Records and actually discovering what they were. And it was 7 years ago that I had my psychological addiction to alcohol cleared from my Akashic Records. That's how I got introduced to them. And so I've been 7 years sober today as well. So lots of celebration. And if you are on my email, then you'll know that I'm celebrating and I'm offering some really special exclusive offers to help you have a transformational breakthrough. Maybe not as pronounced as mine, but nonetheless, there is breakthroughs that we have every time that we do any kind of work in the Akashic Records. So if you want any insights around what those are, then again, drop a comment in drop her kind of an acknowledgement in the comments below, or reach out to me and I will share those offers with you. Okay, so if you have picked card 1, as I had as my main focus, it's self-sabotage. So there could be a self-sabotaging kind of like process going on this week for you. If you've kind of got something that's going on that's kind of feeling new and you're stepping into unknown territory, or you're kind of in a bit of a flow, and then it's like, oh my God, this is going really amazingly. And then we kind of like realize, and we then start to self-sabotage, which can happen because we've brought some kind of awareness to it. We have that self-sabotage that can happen. What I also get with this particular card, though, outside of the self-sabotage, is not wanting to see something that is happening. And that could be something with yourself. It might be somebody around you, something that's going on around you. And you're kind of like, don't want to get involved. I don't need to get involved. But what I get with this particular card is there is an element of needing to see what is actually happening, and kind of whether we've got to take responsibility as within part of that, or we just need to kind of see what's happening. Just so we get a full picture, perhaps a full understanding. So this isn't about kind of like turning your back or shying away. This is kind of like having your ears and eyes open, maybe not to, as I say, react in any way, but just to have that information. But that also, in equal measure, could be something that you are choosing to avoid, or not realizing that you're avoiding, and you're closing off your ears to it, you're closing off your eyes, and your behavior would kind of demonstrate that you're doing all that you can but to actually deal with something. So that's what we've kind of got going on here. And that in itself, when we're avoiding, we are self-sabotaging our growth and what's on the other side. And we know that self-sabotage, we do that because we fear, we're in resistance to the thing, because it feels unsafe, and our ego likes to keep us in our comfort zone. So just be really mindful of self-sabotage, what is popping up for you. And if you can come from it from a place of neutrality, curiosity. And I always, when I realize I'm self-sabotaging, because it takes awareness, I celebrate it, because clearly I'm onto something and I'm resisting it. So it's like, I know that there's something on the other side of that that's really going to help and expand and grow me. There's abundance perhaps on the other side. There's something that's really like juicy on the other side. And clearly my ego doesn't want me to get to that point. So it's like, oh, okay, well, that's maybe given me a little bit more determination to see what's on the other side there. So we can totally turn it around if we come at it from a place of neutrality. So what are you avoiding? What are you hiding from? What are you not wanting to hear or listen to this week? And just be mindful that have your ears and eyes open, maybe not get involved if it's somebody else's stuff, but just be aware of it. Because there may be a point where you need to give your opinion or something like that, but also just notice where you are avoiding something that's related to you, as in it's personal, it's about your growth, it's about facing up to perhaps things that you're not dealing with, and you're trying to avoid, you're trying to be busy, you're trying to do other things, put other people first because you don't want to focus on you. And that's, that's a form of self-sabotage as well. So just be mindful of that. That was my card. So we'll just see where that goes. So self-sabotage of this week. So just be open-minded, be aware, and be curious, and celebrate the resistance if it's resistance as well. So let me know if if that card resonates, and if you're self-sabotaging and you would like a little bit more clarity or guidance around how to move forward, then let me know. You can work with me 4 times a year on the Empowerment Oracle package, and that's a beautiful way to get my support for a whole 12 months. And there's Akashic healing that's included in that session as well. So just turn this down a bit. Okay, so if you pick card 2, so we're moving on. We're moving on to the next card, where we've actually dropped our hands. We're actually facing up and looking to see what there is that we maybe need to look at in the shadows, and it's deception and betrayal. And so there is an element here of, if we're not willing to look, we're not willing to kind of open up our eyes, then we are betraying and deceiving ourselves in terms of how we could be moving forward, how we could be expanding and growing or moving beyond our challenges. So there is an element of, keeping ourselves in a place of deception and betrayal, as in listening to the negative narratives that tell us that we can't move on to, we can't change, we can't transform, we can't have the life, that we are dreaming of. So we are now kind of like hands are down, and the key is actually behind her back. So there's an element of, okay, I know that I need to face this. I'm facing the full moon. I am taking responsibility. I'm owning up to whatever it is I'm looking at whatever it is that I need to look at. I'm going into the shadows. The full moon, we know, is all about the release, and we've just had a full moon. And so we've taken this action now to start to put this, whatever this is, whatever it represents for you, behind you. So it could be connected to relationships. We've got the rose here. Relationship to yourself, relationship to others. But you are facing up to whatever it is that you need to look at and admit, perhaps, or take responsibility for, or just, just start to change how you approach something. Actually take action on something, something that feels different to what you were doing before because you were avoiding it. You're now kind of like, okay, well, I'm going to handle this. I'm going to deal with this. And so as we do that and we start to bring whatever that is into the light, then we know that the resistance and everything that we had, the fears that we had, that we were avoiding, the judgments, the catastrophe that perhaps we had created in our mind that we thought was going to happen because we were going to start looking at this thing, starts to go behind us. We're putting it into the past. We're putting those fears into the past. which means that we're moving into the light, we're moving forward. Now, there's no movement in this card, but there is because she's placed the key behind her. So that is the, you know, if we are willing to kind of look at this, then straight away, what we're doing is we're able to put things into the past. And there might be an element of forgiveness that's needed for that. Maybe just admitting something to yourself, giving yourself permission to let something go, not hang on to it any longer. And it's like, okay, I'm now putting it into the past. So it's a very symbolic movement that's happening here. So we've got that kind of like bringing things into the light, feeling stronger, feeling more in our power. We take our power back when we do this. So, you know, she's sitting up very upright. So there's a real strength in how she's approaching this. It's kind of like, okay, well, I'm facing this, you know, whatever this might be, I'm here for it. So deception and betrayal. So placing things, facing things, bringing things into the light, and straight away you're placing that into the past because you're dealing with it, you're looking at it, you're taking responsibility. So you're almost like taking power back, and you're then able to move forward. So deception and betrayal. So let me know how that card also resonates and how the cards are coming together as a kind of like as a picture, a full message. If you've not listened to cards 1 or 2 and you're about to come on to card 3, because that was your main card, then please go back and listen to cards 1 and 2, because that's going to give you a fuller picture. So now we've got some real movement with card 3, and we're bringing everything into the light, and we're connecting in with our guides, and it's just like, okay, I'm totally here for it. But for me, it's essentially the movement forward, and it's the synchronicities and signs. So it's kind of like, okay, you know, I've really looked at this, I can really see this, and now I've got all of the signs, I've got all of the alignment, I've got, you know, if I want to call in my spirit team or whatever it might be, or physical support, mindset, mantras, whatever it might be, energy healing. You're placing yourself in a really positive space to move forward and receive whatever the alignment is on the work that you've done already, in terms of like opening your eyes and opening your ears. It allows you to receive the messages, and even that in itself is like, maybe you're cutting yourself off from your spirit team and your guides because you're so caught up in like 3D physical human life, which of course we are, because that doesn't stop. But it might be to the detriment of being able to feel connected and have that beautiful spiritual connection, but also your intuition working for you and really having that deeper connection with your inner wisdom. It might be that, you know, at the moment you're just feeling really disconnected. And so again, we've got this opening up, you know, realizing that's the case, taking time out, recognizing maybe some of your practices need to change to allow for that space. And then it's like, okay, I'm now back in the space that I want to be in, so I can receive the abundance, the prosperity, the wealth, whatever it might be. So there's lots of different levels and layers in terms of messaging here. You're going to know what feels right for you. And I would encourage you, if you haven't got the cards, that's fine. But if you have got the cards and you're playing along with me each week, what are you picking up from these cards as well? I would love to hear, you know, how you're reading and how you're connecting in with the cards. What messages are coming up for you as a kind of a complete picture? But for me, this is about receiving, being more open to receive, feeling more connected. And also there's this movement forward. So we've gone from very static images to I'm now moving forward. So let me know again, you know, how these cards are resonating. Now, the bonus card is Karmic Challenges. And so you might find that there is a thread to this particular karmic challenge in terms of the, you know, where the root is. So I'm inviting you to look at your home and environment. So this could be people within your home, family members, and it could be the environment itself, where it just feels karmically challenged, as in it just feels challenged, it feels too busy, it feels too full, it feels too stressy. how are you, karmically, we continue to uphold the energy of our environment because we're not changing it. We're not letting go of things to invite new, fresh energy or just space into our space. When we have space within our space, it allows us to just take that breath, and kind of like relax a little bit. I think when our spaces are busy and full, it's a representation of us and our mind and, all of the things that we have going on. So I think it's important to have an area, a corner, a room that just has this sense of calmness and peace, because it is like a haven, it is like a sanctuary, and we all need that sanctuary. Now, some of us are really good and we can create those sanctuaries within our heart spaces and within our mind. It really does depend on how you operate. For me, I'm quite visual, although I'm not visual in my Akashic Records, but I am visual in terms of my environment. And my space is really important for my well-being. It absolutely is. Now, I've mentioned this is karmic challenges. So it could be people in your home or in your environment. Environment also includes work. It also includes your business. So are you feeling karmically challenged by those people in your environment, in those types of environments? Is there a connection with a particular person there's a lot of discord and a lot of unrest? And it's like, this is really strange. This is frustrating. And so it's looking at those types of situations with those relationships and just seeing it from the perspective of, what is this relationship teaching me? And just ask that question, what is this relationship teaching me? Putting all the emotions and all of that to the side, just ask that one question, what is this relationship teaching me? And you may get something really profound that is given to you by your guides or your higher self, which will then change your whole perspective on that relationship. And it might have you approach that relationship in a very different way, which will get a very different result. But just that one question of, what is this relationship teaching me? Just ask that one question and see how things change. So home and environment. So there's karmic challenges, which could be connected with your space, just the physical space, with family connections, relationships, or client or colleague. Or, it could be somebody that's next door neighbor, or somebody down, that works in a particular shop that you frequent, and there's just a bit of discord there. It's a bit weird, but you can't quite figure it out. That's your karmic challenge. And all I want you to ask is, what is this relationship teaching me? And just see what your answer is, what you get, and if you can draw any other kind of perspectives from that once you have that information. So if you also want to cleanse or clear your home environment, just to kind of karmically realign it and just bring some fresh energy in there. Now, of course, decluttering is the big thing, but of course you can also cleanse and clear energetically your home as well, which you can do with sound. Obviously, you can do with sage. You can use crystals. You can put salt in the corners of the rooms, which then absorbs the negative energies. Akashic records, of course, your home has its own Akashic records. So if you know how to read a home's records, then you can obviously do a clearing there. And I will put in a meditation, an Akashic transmission at the end here, that helps you clear a room of your Akashic records, helps clear the energy. Now, of course, you can do that for every room in your house, or you could reach out, and if you wanted an Akashic record property clearing and alignment, then let me know if you want details about that, because that's something that I do remotely. And that's really a really beautiful, supportive session that just helps you to realign your home, and it really supports elevating your relationships with other people, the other occupants of the home. It's really interesting what we can find that is creating misalignment and discord in the home. Okay, so home environments. how does that relate to you in terms of karmic challenge? That will unfold, but you may just want to look at your home and environment and how is that creating and nurturing and nourishing and calming space for you? Or does it create constriction, confinement, frustration, a sense of busyness and I can't relax? Then that's not karmically aligned, and I would have a look at what you can do to support you with that. Okay, so love and blessings, everybody. Let me know if you want any details about anything, whether it's the Akashic cards, whether it's an empowerment oracle package, whether it's the home clearing service that I do, or anything else. I have got lots of things that I can offer to help support you having whatever breakthrough that it is that you need to help you move forward in the most soul aligned way. And again, I'm just thanking you for being part of my world, being part of my community, and being on this journey with me as I celebrate 7 years of being and working with the Akashic Records. So love and blessings and have a beautiful week. Bye.